Hello, I am Uncle Slam, and this is my first submission for Awesome Games Done Quick 2020. This is Super Mario Maker 2, Story Mode any %, no Luigi Assist. Time starts when I select Story Mode, so let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now the premise of Story Mode in this game is that you see here, Toadette and her crew finish constructing Peach's castle. They're all proud of it. And as you'll see in this cutscene, Underdog comes along and destroys it all. So it's our job to rebuild the castle. And the way we do that is each part of the castle costs a certain amount of coins. And it's up to Mario to go through a bunch of different levels, collect as many coins as he can, so we can afford each part of the castle until it's finally constructed. Reconstructed, in this case. And it's really cool because we get to see five different Mario game styles, really, throughout this whole run. Because Super Mario Maker 2 added 3D World, which the original Mario Maker did not have, so that's really neat. Now the way collecting coins works in this run is that the first time you beat any given level, it will give you a static reward of 100, 150, 200, or 300 coins, depending on the level. And in addition to those coins, you'll also get however many coins you collected while in the level itself. So as you'll see in this first level, gonna take a high path because that yields the most coins. For example, that 10 coin there, as well as these 3 up top. So as you can see here, I'm going not necessarily out of my way to collect all those coins, but I'm trying to collect them because they don't slow me down, and we will need plenty of coins later on. So I collected 47 coins in that stage, and you can see here that it says I collected 47 in the stage, and I got a payment of 100. So keeping all that in mind, this route uses, well, the run in general, utilizes as many stages as we can that yield a fairly decent coins per second rate. Because the fastest way we can build the castle is by getting money, and the fastest way we can get money is by beating stages with good coins per second rates. So we want to make sure, while we're going through these stages, even if it's a little slow to get some coins, often it's worth it. So this is the 3D World style, and it adds the cat suit to Mario Maker, as well as those trees which you can climb. And here's the cat suit. So with it we can dive forward, which gives us consistent momentum, and lets us climb onto that wall, or any other walls we see in the background. So diving forward. And a nice feature about the cat suit is that we can immediately climb up flagpoles. So we're almost guaranteed to get the 10 every single time we have the cat suit. That said, I should also point out how you finish a level also determines how many coins you get. So you saw there in the last 2 stages, Mario grabbed the top of the flagpole, and that yielded 10 coins each. Now for all of the stages where Mario ends on a flagpole, so that would be most Super Mario Bros. 1, New Super Mario Bros. U, and Super Mario 3D World levels, the higher up on the flagpole you finish, the more coins you get, so it goes 10, then 5, then 3, 2, and 1, the further down you get. And it's the same with Super Mario World 2 if you break the tape. The higher you are, the more coins you get. With Super Mario Bros. 3, however, the finishers there show a box that can hold one of 4 shapes. That can be the mushroom, the fire flower, the star, or the one-up mushroom. And whichever one of those you get determines how many coins you collect at the finish line. So the mushroom yields 1, the fire flower yields 3, the star yields 5, and the one-up yields 10. So ideally we want to be getting the 1-up mushroom as much as possible in the Super Mario Bros. 3 stages. But, you know, it's not the end of the world if we get the star instead. But hopefully we won't be seeing that. Because if you're good at timing it, it's pretty consistent, give or take, which coin value you get. Since we have this power-up, we can immediately go to the 10 there and not have to worry about the platform taking us that high. Another thing I should point out here is that whenever you beat a stage and a part of the castle is being constructed, you'll see these hammers show up. Now the foundation has 2 hammers, and that indicates that in order to finish building it, we need to beat 2 levels. So since I beat levels 3 and 4 afterwards, like, those were the 2 levels we needed. And you might have noticed that the Toads all did a little celebration once that part of the castle was complete. That happens whenever or rather the Toads, finish building a part of the castle. So ideally we want to finish different parts of the castle together as much as possible so we only get one animation and don't have to sit through it over and over and over and over again. But that aside, this is the first level with some actual cool speedrun strats. So we're going to hop over those Galoombas, we're going to grab Yoshi here, and we're going to ram into the wall of Galoombas and catch Yoshi on the other side while we have the iframes. Come in this room, eat the P-switch, collect those coins before we move on. And in this next room, they intend you to go through after hitting 2 P-switches, but we're going to go through while only hitting 1. And we're also going to grab 2 big coins with a little bit of Yoshi cheese. So we're going to put that P-switch up there for now. Grab that 30 coin, because cheese is great. Grab that with Yoshi. And come through here, and it actually is just a little bit faster to get through here if we ditch Yoshi instead. But if we keep Yoshi, it makes... Hello. Ate my jump input. It makes getting that 10 much easier. And sadly, we don't get to bring Yoshi along with us this time, so... Don't worry, we'll see more Yoshi later. I think. This next level is one of the more technical in the run. This level introduces clear conditions, which are required for Mario to do before he is even able to finish the stage. So in this case we need to collect 30 coins, which since we want to collect coins anyway kind of works out in our favor. And there are 4 rooms we need to enter that all have pretty much the same layout, but they have different enemies in them. So this one has Koopas, and we want to bring one of their shells with us. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this guy. Take him along and into the Goomba room. I'm going to throw it. Collect these coins while it collects the others. And now I'm going to bring it to the Pom-Pom room. Now this room you usually lose it, and it's not a big deal if you do. Yeah, see right there, Pom-Pom gave us bad RNG, but that's fine. Because don't really need it for this last room. It only makes things slightly faster, but not enough that it kills the run or anything. So now that we've collected all 30 coins, we're going to come through here. And nice and easy get that 10. You might have also noticed that the West Hall, Main Hall, and East Hall all had different prices to start building. So each of the side halls costs 400 coins, and the main hall costs 600. But they have different build times. So the main hall requires us to beat 4 stages, while the side halls only require 3. So we're going to try to use that to our advantage to finish 2 of them at the same time, and those 2 specifically are going to be the East Hall and the main hall. Excellent. Yeah, in my humble opinion, the 3D world style is probably my favorite. Super Mario World's close second, though. Now you'll see here we do have enough coins to build either the main hall or the East Hall, but because we want to finish them at the same time, we're going to hold off on that just a little bit. So we're going to do Seesaw Catapults next. And this one, as the name suggests, introduces seesaws. They work about the same way you'd expect. So we're going to try to do a triple jump here. Got it. Gets those coins nice and easy. We're going to do a spin jump to get down here. Perfect. We want to use this thwomp to elevate this, so we can get by. And then going through here, it's important you get that spin, otherwise you'll hit the Koopa and you won't be able to mash through these, or crash, I suppose, through those bricks. Damage abuse through there, and in 1, 2, 3, 4 spins, get the flagpole. I usually get the 10 there, but that's alright. And now is when we're going to start building the main hall. Now, you've seen me talk to Toad to start all the missions, but there are other places where we can find missions, and one of those cases is the dog over here. You know, the one that destroyed the castle. But he actually has a very good paying job, so we're going to do it for him, because we need the coins. And this is another clear condition, one where we're not allowed to use any of the swimming claws. And it's ice-themed. So I'm going to grab 3 of those. Unfortunately, you cannot grab all 4 in one jump. Get rid of this dry bones. We're going to jump there. We're not going to slide, because that's just barely slower. We want to hit about 5 of those question mark blocks to get the vines out. Grab that 10. Move out here. That was pretty good vine movement overall. Bring those icicles down. Right up here for a Koopa Clown Car. I'm going to duck and jump just to get in a little bit sooner. Saves a couple frames. Grab this 10. I'm going to wait for that to reach the 10 point, get the 10 coins, and be on our way. You'll also notice that when I'm on the overworld, which you'll see in a little bit, I'm going to be zigzagging instead of just normally walking, and that's because, kind of like in the Crash Bandicoot games, when you zigzag on the overworld, you move just a little bit faster than if you make Mario move in just a straight line. It's a very minor time save, but it is a time save, and it's easy to get, so I go for it. For perspective, if you go from the leftmost point of the overworld to the rightmost, zigzagging, you save only like 4/10 of a second, I believe, over walking in a straight line. So, again, minor time save, but it's free. Might as well go for it. And here we have our first Super Mario Bros. 3 stage. And unlike the last stage where we don't want to use the claws, here we depend on them. Grab that 10, and you'll see here I wait just a little bit. Okay, I got the star there, so that's 5 coins. That's still pretty good. But waiting to make sure you get the star or the 1-up there is actually worthwhile. Because even if it takes just a little bit longer to get the coins, you do want the coins more than anything else. And right here, I use my finger since I play undocked. And because of that, I'm able to menu just a little bit faster. I am aware that if this does get into GDQ, that, no, excuse me. I'm aware that if this does get into GDQ, it will need to be docked, but in that case, I do know how to menu while docked, so it's not a big deal. And in this stage, you want to collect 3 different keys, and you can get these in, I believe, 6 different rooms. And here we're going to get them all with just this P-switch. You can use some of the other items too, but I find, or rather the most efficient route is to use the left 3 pipes with just the P-switch. One nice feature about the P-switch is that it stops conveyor belts like the ones in this room, so you can get through here a little faster. And exit, no problem. You can also get a little hop off of this P-switch after we activate it, and I got it. Nice, nice. And we do need 4 keys actually, but the 4th one is right here, so merely by activating the P-switch we can get it. And then the rest of this level is basically just going through the doors. You can get to the top there if you collect the rest of the keys in the level, but that takes a lot of time, and the coin to get back is not worth it. They are not worth it, rather. So it just kind of sits there and taunts us. Tunnel to the Dark Side of the Moon has a neat little trick where we make use of a buzzy shell. I'll explain that when we get there. So here we jump. It also makes use of upside-down physics. One feature that Super Mario Maker 2 added that the original did not have was a nighttime element, and that has different effects depending on what type of theme you use. So in this case, it's an underground theme, so the gravity gets reversed during nighttime when you're in the pipe sections. Here we're going to use that buzzy shell to get that 10. We're going to use this buzzy shell to grab a 30 that we're actually not meant to collect. It's meant to show us there's one on the other side of the pipe, but we can still collect it, so we do. And you can see there I timed that well so I could get the 1-up and the 10 coins with it. So hopefully we'll be doing that a lot more later in the run. So right here you saw we completed 2 structures at the same time, and we only get 1 celebration animation. Saves a couple seconds over the course of the whole run, but they're seconds we really, really want. And this is a very basic level that introduces the usage of dry bones shells as boats that we can use to survive lava. So it's pretty cool. This is a very cycle-based level. So far, so good. Okay, that was close. Ooh, I don't know if I can make that. No, I'm gonna wait another cycle just for safety. Yeah, you can get squished too, and it's not fun if you do. But yeah, we're gonna damage abuse there, and take the lower path, and grab the axe. On any of the stages with axes, you always get 5 coins no matter where you hit it. So the best thing we can do there is try to hit the axe as low as possible, so the fall animation Mario takes before the stage actually finishes takes just a little less time. You save a couple frames every time you do that, so again, not huge time saves, but time saves we want. Twisting Through the Desert Sands introduces the Twister item, enemy, whatever you want to call it. it feels like an enemy more often than not. And they can be kind of frustrating. In order for them to propel you like that one just did there, you need to have some kind of upward momentum. So it can be kind of tricky to get them just right, but they're not so bad in the Super Mario Bros. 1 and 3 styles, but when you get to World and the more recent styles, they get really finicky. Oops, that's fine. Here we're going to jump down there, intentionally take damage. And get the one up again. 10 coins. There are a few stages where you can just run straight at the finish and guarantee you get the one up. But unfortunately those are very few and far between. And if you mess up movement just a little bit, that can alter the result. Coming up next is another course with a clear condition, and that is not to jump. But even though we can't jump, this level does still have its fair share of skips we can do. Starting right away, almost, actually. So right here, I'm going to run, go right through that boob, because its hitbox disappears before it does. Come through here, avoid those claws. And I should be able to make this flame cycle. Yes, I do. Excellent. Come through this pipe, you want to look left immediately to lure these boos over. And if we're lucky, we'll get a couple coins. Hey, we do. Nice. So I want to get as far to the right as possible before moving again. Get on these trampolines and rinse and repeat. And just like when we went through the pipe, we want to look left as quickly as possible to lure this boo over. And then we should be able to make this boo rinse cycle without much difficulty. And I'm going to go for a strategy here where I skip these flames. And I get it. Nice. Almost missed it. It was almost a little early, but I got it. So lure this Bob-omb over so we can collect these coins. Nice, nice, nice. And I'm going to go for one more skip here. So at this P-switch, I'm going to wait to throw it at the thwomp, and then actually throw it at the thwomp. I'm going to go through here before that last bumper gets me. And I got pretty much every skip I wanted to show off there, so that's nice. Come to the edge here and wait for this boo to take us home. And I said that the clear condition was that you couldn't jump, but I'm going to jump anyway. The main reason you can do that is that the game counts a jump as landing after you leave the ground. So I left the ground there, but because I didn't land again before I grabbed the flagpole, it still counted as me not jumping. So we were able to get that nice little skip. We'll see one more like that later. Here we have Shoe Stopper. This is one of 2 levels in the game that makes use of, well, 2 levels in the run anyway, that make use of the shoes from Super Mario Bros. 3. We might not see the other level depending on how things go, though, so. Shoes can also be kind of finicky. Again, they're not bad in the Super Mario Bros. 1 style, but beyond that, it's kind of a toss-up. Grab all of those. We want this big one so we can stomp down and collect this 10. Gonna bop that guy and bop his friend. And then we're gonna intentionally leave the shoe there so we can collect those coins more easily. Gonna hop... Whoop. Yeah, hop in one of these guys. Oh, no, I want you. That's not a big deal. We're going to come up the exits, and we're just going to hop out of the shoe to get the 10. No sweat. That's one of the big reasons we want the shoe there. If we go through the pipe without the shoe, we can still get the 10 fairly simply, but it's a lot easier if you have a shoe. Here we have one of 2 primarily water-based levels in the game. This one's pretty straightforward. Just get to the end, but we also want to collect all the coins we possibly can, because almost all of them are in our way anyway. So, again, we need coins, so we might as well collect them. Yeah, the twisters here aren't bad at all, since you can go up anyway. They just kind of speed up the process here. There's also a 10 we can get. Cool. Yeah, if you collect that 10 like I did and don't get blown up by that twister, that's actually very good. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And if you miss any coins in this level, it's usually this spot right here, but I don't, so that's mighty nice. And then we try to collect all of those, easy peasy. And right here is by far the easiest 10 in the game to get on the flagpole. Unfortunately, when you're underwater, the flag animation takes just a little bit longer, but not a whole lot you can do about that. This next level also has a pretty neat skip or two. I call them skips, but they're not really. You'll see what I mean. It's a good old-fashioned Super Mario World's level, and who doesn't like those? Just gonna start sliding. And then here we're gonna, like the name suggests, hop in a Koopa Clown car. Gonna destroy some of these blocks so we can more easily get that 10, and make sure these Goombas don't give us a bad time like that one almost did. But we're still fine. I'm gonna come through here. Make sure these Koopas don't ruin our day. And we're gonna try not to get hit by those Hammer Bros, but if we do, it's not a big deal. Because hopefully we won't be getting hit later anyway. So I'm going to jump up here, and we're going to do a spin jump all the way down this corridor. The game wants you to take a clown car down there, but since gravity takes us down anyway, and it does it at a much faster rate, we just let that happen. And we're actually going to do the same thing here. And we want to make sure we keep this shell hat, because with it, we can break through the stone, get all these coins, and collect the 10. So pretty cool. Right here we get one of the more interesting portions of the run. Where, okay, so we finished the second floor of the main hall. So now what? Well, now I get to talk to the toads. Now you do need to do these toads missions in order to make any more progress on the castle, so these are non-negotiable. This one is a level where you need to take this stone right here all the way to the end of the level. Some runners like to take a mushroom for safety. I do not, though, because I honestly don't need it, and it's slow. So we're just going to jump here off of that musical note, make sure the Goomba doesn't hit us. And this twister right here is going to boost us up just a little bit faster because we have the stone, because being heavier boosts our upward momentum, I guess. I don't know. And there you notice that I finished the level facing to the left, because if you finish it to the right, you will actually... Mario won't be able to progress to the right end of the screen, and he'll just be stuck there for a few seconds, making the load time out of this section take longer. So if you can finish that facing left, you definitely want to. And then Head in the Clouds here is one of the most infamous stages in the run for more than one reason, but it's a quickie, so gonna try to collect as many coins as possible while still staying in the cloud. Get that 10, being careful not to hit the spikes, because we are Small Mario, so those will kill us instantly. Then we're gonna get that 5, no problem. And this actually will not be the last time we see Head in the Clouds, but more on that way later in the run. So with that, we can now start building in the west and main halls again. But the east hall is the one we really want. This level we need to escort a toad, because it got lost on the way to the construction site somehow. Don't ask me how, especially considering it got lost on an airship, so that's also something. So I'm gonna grab this mushroom. Gonna wait just a little bit so I can make this jump. Our little toad friend is hiding out here behind that box. And if he gets hit, it's important to note that he will bubble up and gradually float back to where we grabbed him, kind of like how Mario does in Yoshi's Island. And right here we're going to intentionally get hit, but we're going to save Toad immediately. And get the 10, nice. Getting the 10 there is actually really difficult. It's about a 50-50 shot whether you get the 10 or the 5. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But fortunately I got it there. So we have nothing to worry about, and now we can continue building the castle. I think I missed a split, actually. Oops. No, that's not a big deal. But now we're going to start building the East Hall again. Snake Blocks in the Sky is a pretty simple one. It's meant to introduce the player to snake blocks, which start moving like a snake when you land on them. This is I guess it's not necessarily a slow level, but it does take a while to get all the way around. So we're going to skip about half of it. So right here, after we collect these 2 coins, we're just going to jump, hop off of that question mark block, and make it right to the exit. There we go. That's better. Okay. So there is a specific reason we are building the East Hall first, and that's because with it we can unlock a very, very useful level, which we use to grind coins quite a bit in the run. It's not as bad as it sounds, I promise, but it is a level we definitely want access to as quickly as possible. I will say that much right now. Master of the Trees makes good use of the trees in 3D World. Also rip that bully. Now, it is slightly faster to jump up the trees than it is to climb them normally. So I'm going to try to do that as much as possible. Usually that guy stays there. Interesting. Oh, hello. That guy did not want to cooperate. That's unfortunate. Well, so I'm leaving that 10 coin behind, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's really problematic if you accidentally get knocked down by the bully on that last platform, because then it does take a while to get back up. So I'd rather not risk it in that case. But besides that, that was pretty decent. Here we have another lovely auto-scroller, but this one is one of the more let's say it doesn't like the player that much because it moves at a pace that is really slow, even from a casual perspective. Like, in speedrunning, of course, auto-scrollers are already kind of slow, because, you know, we just want to get through the level, man. But here it moves even slower than that, and we just want to go. But it really wants to make sure that we don't get lost in the dust, so... We try to accommodate for that while we go through. And right here, we're just going to jump from this platform to the flagpole and get the 10, even though Nintendo doesn't want us to do that. There's an ant on that lower block that they kind of want us to wait for, and then we bounce off of it, and then we get the 10, but we can just get it from the main platform. It's easier, it's quicker, so we might as well do it. And we still get all 10 coins, so... Coming up next is a level that is very dependent on the clown car. It can be a little tricky to get the hang of, but with practice, it's not that bad. I believe this is also the first time... No, it's the second time we see Bowser, actually. So here we're going to try to collect all these coins, maintain some momentum. Get that Spiny before it causes us trouble. That Spiny as well, and these two. There are those prawn plants. If we miss one coin, it's not the worst thing, but we're going to fire a fireball or 3 there, and that should be good. Alright, that was okay. And ideally, you can beat Bowser here with 5 shots. It's a little tricky, but possible. And I get it, nice. Alright, I finished with 103 seconds left, that's really good. Anything 100 seconds or better there is fantastic. So I'm glad I got to show that off. And now that the second floor of the East Hall is completed, I'm going to be building the East Hall doors. And I guess I should explain, anytime you begin building a part of the castle, that part unlocks new levels you can do in the run. And the East Hall doors unlock level 56, which is called Buzzy, the Movie, the Book, the Ride. And this level gives us a lot of coins. Even if you take away the bonus you get from beating it the first time, you get about 200 coins every single time you complete it. And it's not that long either, so we will be coming back to this quite a bit to make sure we have enough coins for the rest of the castle. So it involves some precise throws with this, with these Buzzy shells to get the most out of this level. So I'm gonna kind of be quiet and focus for some of them. That 50 right there is really risky to go for, because if you hit any of those POW blocks, you lose your shell. The shells you were standing on for safety from the spikes also disappear. And not only can you not get the 50, but you also can't get the 30 I got with the spiky guy there. And you also can't... Well, you can still get the 10 like I did, but it becomes significantly harder since you can't hit the P-switch to stop the conveyor belt. So if you miss up any of those 50 throws, it's not fun for anyone. So I'm going to do Buzzy 5 more times to make sure I have enough coins. There are other stages that give better coins per second than Buzzy, and we will get around to those, but I just take care of all the Buzzies I'll need now. Well, not all the Buzzies, but most of them, so I don't have to come back as much later. Cool. Yeah, anytime you get at least 200 on Buzzy, that's always something to celebrate. We have unofficial world records for how many coins you can get in Buzzy at once, and in a run, I have the record with 207. Unfortunately, that particular run died, but I still got 207, so that's pretty cool. So 4 more. I guess I can use this as a point to explain how exactly the route progression of this game came to be. So at first, all the route was, hey, you get a lot of coins for beating stages for the first time. We just need to do that over and over and over again and just keep beating new stages, and that should be the most efficient route. And then we discovered how useful Buzzy is for collecting coins. So it then became, okay, only do stages that aren't Buzzy if they have a better coins per second, or if you don't have Buzzy unlocked yet. And as soon as we made that discovery, times plummeted down. I think right now the world record has, I want to say maybe 7 or 8 Buzzies, maybe? But it is by far the most useful level in the run, so knowing how to do a good Buzzy is imperative to making sure you can get good times. And I mentioned before how getting the 50 is pretty risky. It is, but once you get the hang of it, it's really not bad to go for. You just really need to know when you can let go of that shell. That was a pretty good throw. It is possible to accidentally hit that spiny too far to the, from too far to the right, and you'll send it to the left, where it's impossible to break those blocks and get the 30 anymore. It's unfortunate when that happens, but again, that's just something you learn not to do with practice. And if you miss the 30, it's a lot less costly than if you miss the 50. Because missing the 50 means you won't get the 30, and you probably won't get the 10 either. But with the 30, you should still be able to get the 10 pretty easily. So it's not as bad if you miss the 30. And there's also the fact that, you know, it has a much smaller coin count. So you're missing out on a lot less, but again, obviously, you don't want to miss it if you can help it. Ooh, that was a really good throw, nice. Yeah, all these throws I'm doing, again, with practice, you know what's good and what's not. 204, that's really good. Okay, one more Buzzy, I promise, and then we'll move on to other levels. This is admittedly probably the driest part of the run just because you're doing the same level over and over again. But it is necessary. And we don't see Buzzy much after this point. We might see him 2, maybe 3 more times after I'm done this time. Also, if you do accidentally hit one of the buzzsaws or hit the spikes, you can, instead of throwing one of these shells up, you can put it back on Mario as a helmet. You won't get as many coins because of it, because obviously once it's on his head you can't then throw it up. But you'll at least be able to make sure you can get the 30 and the 10 more easily. So if you do mess up, you might as well just put another helmet on. Alright, 202. That's also really good. So I'm done with Buzzy for now. We will be back, but not for a while. Instead, we're going to 57, which is the second and already final pure water level in the run. And this one we actually do need to collect 100 coins, so we definitely don't want to have to backtrack. Alright, make sure we get this cycle by bonking on that brick. And I'm hoping to keep this fire flower for the rest of the level. If I do lose it, it's not the end of the world, but it is a bit of a detriment if I do, but so far so good. Yeah, these bloopers can be a little annoying. They get more annoying the further into the level you get. So that first one is nice and easy to take care of. The second one, nice and easy. It's this third one that starts giving us issues. But fortunately, we dispatch him no problem. This guy, on the other hand, we'll see. Okay, we're good there too. So we should be fine for the rest of the level. This guy goes down pretty easily, and we only have one more, and he's the gatekeeper. And nice, we get a 223 seconds left. I think that's about the best that can be. I mean, obviously I could have done it faster if I went lower down on the flagpole, but if you want the 10 coins, then yeah, 223 is pretty darn good. And then the last level we do before we make Toadette build some more stuff is Above the Clouds. This can definitely be a very frustrating level because it deals with twisters. And again, Super Mario World and beyond, they get really, really finicky. So here I'm going to grab that mushroom, assuming I can actually hit the block. Yeah, this is also a nighttime level, so gravity is reduced. But we're going to spin jump off of those guys, collect all these coins in the process, head back up. And this is one of the really rough parts of the run. Fortunately, it's nice and easy this time, but if you only hit one of those blocks, which happens most of the time, you really want to squeeze through the one gap space you created in only one jump, and that can be very difficult, but fortunately I didn't have to do that, so that's alright. And here, I only get 5 coins there, but that's honestly better than waiting for the 10 at that point. So overall, that was pretty darn decent. I'm happy with that. Sometimes that goes a lot worse, but not today. Okay, so now we're going to start building the West Hall. And here, we're going to do levels 33, 29, and 30. Oh, assuming we don't jump. Yeah, the thing with the A button in this game is when you're on the overworld, A both jumps and talks to people, so when you try to talk, sometimes you'll jump. It's weird, but I'm not complaining too much. This is a pretty basic, fast-paced course. You don't have to do the spin jumps there, but I do because it's fun. And oh, unfortunately that can happen where you go just a little too fast and hit the edge of the reds just before they disappear. And unfortunately that means that you don't get to get the 10. But it's only 5 coins you're losing, so it could be worse. So next up we have another auto-scroller, and this one introduces another nighttime theme, which is the poisonous mushroom. Poisonous mushroom, as you can see here, is really going at Mario. And unfortunately there are no normal mushrooms in this level, so if it touches him ever, Mario's dead, and we have to restart the entire auto-scroller all over again. And that's not fun. So I'm gonna try my darndest to make sure that we are okay this entire time, while also collecting all the coins I possibly can. We have theorized if it's possible at all to despawn the mushroom, like if we can make it fall off the ends there, but so far, no dice. And we're gonna come over here while we wait for the rest of the level to come in. Come back over here. Get caught. Oh! That's unfortunate. What you're supposed to do is get in that claw, but it was just a little too far off screen. And then you can easily get the 10, but unfortunately I was just a little hasty on it. But either way, we do finish it a little sooner because of it, so... If nothing else, we saved a second, so yay there. Blink Blank Blunk is a 3D world level that, it's honestly one of my favorites. It introduces the Blinkin' block, which acts kind of like the on-off switches and the block stay effect, except they do it automatically. It's like right there. And as a result, this is a very cycle-based level. There's one more like it in a little bit, but this is my favorite of the two. Ooh. That movement was not great, but I didn't lose much time there. Then we're going to want to grab this 10. Going to want to wait just a little bit before we jump down there and get that 50. Going to do a spin jump up there. Spin jumps are a feature of 3D worlds that come in handy several places in the speedrun, but there's one level later that makes really good use of them. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Okay, and while the West Hall is finishing up, we're going to start building the East Hall cannon. Then we're going to do one more level, start building the West Hall doors, I believe. And then we'll do a bunch of levels before we build anything else. So, Koopa Clown Car collecting. This one can be a little frustrating casually, but in the speedrun we have a route that tends to work. We'll see if it does now, or if I just jinxed it. So right here, you want to break that open. If you don't, it's fine, because you're going to alley-oop. Steal that clown car away from the Goomba. Collect these coins while you wait for this bouncer to pass by. Gonna jump out so we can get this 10. Hop back in, collect the coins we missed. And just like that, we finish with a 67. That is really good. Ideally, you want to get anything above, say, a 61, 62-ish, but if you can get a 66 or better, then that is fantastic. Okay, and here we finished the West Hall, second floor. And here we want to build the West Hall doors. And at this point, we do a bunch of levels, again, before we build anything new. Whoop. And we jump. Lava Rising. So if it wasn't for Buzzy, this would be the go-to level for grinding coins, but Buzzy does exist, so sadly we only do this level once, which is kind of a shame because it is one of my favorites. But, you know, Buzzy's good too. Grab that 30. Yeah, in case you couldn't guess by the name, the lava down below, hello, is gradually rising at a steady pace, so we want to make sure we beat it. I'm going to bounce off these cannonballs. Good movement. Come to this room, and in this room, the lava will fluctuate up and down. I'm going to grab that checkpoint because you will need to wait a little bit later anyway, so grabbing it does not waste any time, even though it looks like it does at first. Grab all those coins, and this is where we need to wait, so we're just going to do a couple spin jumps on this donut block here until the lava starts to recede, and then we'll just let him fall. Hop on the tail end of this guy, grab that 50, and here we're going to run all the way to the axe. Saves just a little bit of time over just waiting for the skulls to take you. You know, saves a couple frames, but again, it's free time save. Why wouldn't you go for it? And when you do that, you do hit the axe a little lower too, so the fall animation doesn't take as long. It's really nice. This next level, Impassable Castle, has some pseudo RNG. It's like it's not actual randomness, but you can account for it, but it's kind of tough to. I'll explain what I mean here. So this level is based on thwomps and Buzzy shells. So right there you saw a chain chomp get destroyed by that thwomp. That's not the first time we'll see that. There's also here. What I'm basically trying to say is that it's possible that when a chain chomp goes by, especially right here, that it won't actually destroy the chain chomp. I think I should be fine here. Yep, okay. Sometimes that one doesn't disappear, and in that case you need to wait for the thwomp to go all the way back over, and then lure him back to the chain chomp, and it wastes a couple seconds, but luckily we didn't have that happen, so that's really nice. Gonna wait there just a little bit, so we don't get hit by that chain chomp, because we do want this helmet one more time. Get those Kaizo blocks. So we're going to lose the helmet there, but because we had the mushroom and the helmet, we can still break those blocks. And I finished that with a 246. That is a really good time, actually. There is a slightly faster strat that saves about 3 seconds, where you use another shell to kill that last chain chomp, but it is very risky, and if you mess it up, you end up losing at least 10 seconds, I want to say. So it's honestly not worth going for unless you're really, really confident with it. This level is another extremely fast one. All you need to do is defeat the 6 dry bones here with a Lakitu suit. And Tanuki suit. I'm going to be quiet for this and hopefully I'll get it. Excellent. Okay. It's a little rough to get, but I also landed on the platform there. That saves the fall animation, and in addition to that, Mario just hops into the lava at the end anyway, so it's both fast and funny if you do that. I mentioned earlier how there was another 3D World level that utilized the blinking blocks, and this next level is it. It can be pretty tricky to get it down, but it's not that bad. And it makes a really good use of the cat suit, so stay tuned for that. Also, I mentioned that it was going to use spin jumps quite a bit, and use them well. And that's one of the first things we do, actually. So after that second blink, we spin jump, and we can immediately go into the pipe once those blocks come in. Gonna grab the catsuit here, then dash all the way over here. Now, we're going back here, I might be wondering why. So if you do a spin jump up here, claw the pipe, and climb up here, there's a big old 50 coin right there waiting for you. I'm going to jump up here. And you want to collect as many coins as you can here. That was not bad. But we want to claw that guy. And his friend. And here's another place where you want... Ooh, that's not good, actually. Okay, so I missed a cycle, but that's not terrible. So ideally you can get through this pipe at the 100-second mark, but since I missed the cycle, I had to wait just a little bit longer. It's not the worst thing, because it did let me get more coins than I usually get, so it worked out. More coins for a little more time. Level 50 is a pretty standard level. It utilizes poisonous mushrooms again. So, I'm just going to let you watch this one since there's nothing too special about it. You don't have to duck there if you're big, but I do anyway for fun. Bounce off of that guy, and his friend. I'm gonna run over here, and get the 10. That was pretty clean. Coming up is level 53, which is called Get Over It. Not a reference to Bennett Foddy, believe it or not. A lot of people tend to hate this one, and I will admit I hated it casually too, but it's really good for the speedrun, even though it's an auto-scroller. And whoops. I was about to say I have about the cleanest Get Over It out of everyone in the speedrunning community, but then I did that, so I don't know. You don't need to get this mushroom, but everyone does for safety. Like, it is technically slower to go for it, but you really don't want to die here, because again, it's an auto-scroller. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should also point out that there is a death ceiling here, so you really want to make sure you're not too high at any given point. Okay, almost got hit there, but fortunately I did not. And uh-oh, psych. Yeah, you want to hit this as soon as possible because of that death ceiling. Because the top of it slowly goes to the top as it goes down. I hope that makes sense. But if you go above it, you'll notice I'm going to the left and the right to make sure I get all these coins. If you go too far above it, the death ceiling will, as the name implies, kill you. And that has happened in several people's runs before. Fortunately, it's never happened in mine, but there's always a first. But that was a pretty clean get over it. And we're going to do one more level before we start building more of the castle. This is Koopa Troopa Cargo, and this level introduces the Koopa car. It's a car, operated by Koopa Troopa. And now it's a car operated by Mario. The nice thing about this car is that it moves automatically, so like I'm not pressing right now, I'm not pressing left right now, it's moving on its own. All I'm doing is jumping. And on that note, you can jump up slopes to save just a little bit of time. Over the course of this level, if you do it optimally, it saves about a second. So, again, minor time saves. Besides that, pretty easy level. Jump over this bully, jump over that bully. And really easy 10. Yeah, very easy level, pretty decently quick. Not a whole lot to worry about. And now that we've done that, we're moving on to build the west cannon and the east roof. This unlocks a few more levels we can do. And this first one introduces the darkness mechanic. There's another one activated by nighttime in the Boo House, and I'm going to listen for an audio cue real quick here so I can time a jump. Alright, got it. If you time it right, you can hit that switch while also maintaining all of Mario's momentum. It's a really tight jump. I highly doubt it's more than 2 frames, but make sure we don't get hit by those guys. I'm gonna grab this mushroom. Optimally, you don't grab the mushroom, but I do it for safety because there is a really tricky jump that's made even harder if you don't have the mushroom. So I'm not taking it for safety just in case of those thwomps. No, I actually need to reach that on-off switch. Grab that 50 while we're at it. And we're just gonna run to the end. You can time a jump off of that dry bones to get the 10 or even 5, but it's very tricky, especially when you can't see. So nobody does it, at least in runs. This next level can also be a doozy. It's one where you have to collect at least 40 coins to finish, and it is a giant coin gauntlet. But it's not extremely forgiving, and moving around in it is tricky for reasons you'll see in a couple seconds. So I'm going to grab the mushroom first, because we can get hit in there, and it really sucks if you die. but also because it increases our hitbox, which makes it easier to grab all those 10s. So I'm going to grab this trampoline once I'm done over there, drop it, grab that 10, oh, hopefully grab this 10, there we go, and go through. Alright, that was pretty alright. Got 60 coins with 79 seconds left, yeah, nothing to complain about. And I didn't even get hit. This next level is kind of like Buzzy, in that it's one where we have to collect a lot of coins. Except instead of using Buzzy shells, this time we use Bob-ombs. And we don't get nearly as many coins as we do with Buzzy, so... Unfortunately, they're not quite as comparable as I'd like them to be. But if you time them well, you can see right there that the Bob-ombs don't disappear as soon as they reach their peak. They do move on a little bit, so you can clear out a couple columns at once if you do a good throw. And we want as many of those as we can get. And this is the last set, I believe. And right there, they want you to use a Bob-omb to get that sprint up top, but you can just bounce off the Bob-omb to get the 10, and it's pretty easy. You have to be on the right cycle, which I was, but it's not too difficult to do. And coming up next is one of my favorite levels to speedrun, because it's all based around a stone. This one is kind of like the one we saw with the toads before, where you need to take a stone to the finish, but it's a little different. So essentially there are 4 rooms we need to visit, each of which have a different key, and they want you to use a stone to beat each of the puzzles, but this first room we actually don't need the stone. If we get a jump in here like that right away, we can beat out all these bullet bills and grab the key and get out. Nice and simple. That is not at all how you're intended to do that, in case it wasn't obvious. But I'm gonna push that thwomp up there with my rock. Then exit stage left. 2 rooms to go. And if I'm lucky, I won't get pushed off. Whoop! You actually can't get pushed off there, as far as I'm aware anyway. It looks like you can, you almost do, but Mario barely hangs on with the tips of his toes. And just jump to get out. And last room. And in my opinion, the easiest. Just hit the stone there, knock on the Koopa, and exit as soon as it collects the key. And all the rest of the level is going through these doors. And like the last stone level, we really want to make sure we face left when Mario hits the exit. And we get the one up. Excellent. That was a very smooth level. That one's honestly really fun to show off to your friends. Because that jump in the first room is not very difficult, to be honest. But it does look cool, so that's always a nice thing. Yeah, when something is both fast and looks cool, that's how you know it's a good speed game. Here I'm going to play on-off rail switch. This level has kind of a tricky jump near the beginning because it deals with twisters, and like I have been saying, twisters are not your friend more often than not, but we'll see if I get it. Here I'm going to hit this on-off switch and try to move to the left so I despawn a mole. Alright, and here's the jump. And I got it. Sweet. Yeah, you really want to get that 30. It's a little tricky to get when you're first learning that jump, but again, with practice, you learn to get it a little more consistently, but even then, I screw it up every once in a while, so it happens. And here I intentionally don't hit that switch so I can collect this 50 from underneath. Get that mushroom. That mushroom is honestly just for safety, because there is a 30 coin up here we want to get, but there is a buzzsaw right by it. So we really want to make sure, in case we do hit it, which we typically don't, that we don't die and have to restart the whole level, because that's no bueno. And we don't even hit it. Nice. I guess I should point out something about when you die. So when you die in a stage, your coin count is halved. So you don't lose all your coins, but you don't keep all your coins either. So you can kind of use that strategically to, okay, you can get, say, 50 coins before you hit a checkpoint, then die. Then when you start over again, you'll have 25 extra coins for when you finish later. So you can kind of use it strategically, but the cases in which you do so are very limited. And we might not even see that until the very end of the run. But this is the other don't jump stage in the run. It's pretty simple, but it can be nerve-wracking at times as well. Because we want to get to the end of the donut blocks as quickly as possible, but if we go off, then that's a big problem. These teeter towers are about the scariest part about it, especially this last one here, but we get it just fine. I want to make sure we collect all these coins until we land on this platform right here. And in case you're wondering, no, it is not faster, nor is it even possible to ride one of the other platforms all the way down because you get stopped by a layer of spikes. That will both shrink you and cause you to lose the level, because there's no way to finish it without jumping at that point. But even though we shouldn't be jumping, I'm going to jump right at the end here and get the 10. And now I'm going to start building the West Hall rooftop. And those two should finish at about the same time, which is awesome. Then we're going to get into another, I find it a cool level. It's another clear condition level, Blooper Barrage. So the whole point here, just eliminate all of the bloopers. I think there are 10. It will tell us, yes, there are 10. Okay. So this is by far the most RNG level in the game, possibly, because to get rid of them, you gotta jump on top of them, and as you can see, you can, yeah, these two on top, you can potentially group them up, but where they go is completely random as far as I can tell. Like, they don't immediately go for you, they don't follow the same consistent pattern, but luckily that was a very fast blooper barrage, so I'm not gonna complain. They didn't group up, but I don't care. Got all the coins, got the 10. It is possible to beat that even if you do get hit by one of them and lose the cape. You just need to be really, really good with your momentum. I know I've done it before. And this level is all about wall jumps. Not a whole lot to talk about here, so I'm just gonna let my fingers do the action. Show you some nice old magic. Grab that 10. Gonna grab that mushroom for a damage abuse strat I want to use later, but I might not get to. If I don't, that's not bad either, because the strat I usually go for is actually a little faster, so right here I'm gonna hit those guys. And the bonsai bills should be gone. Yes, they are. Excellent. And I can just run through there. And they disappeared before I even get up that high. Alright, so I'm gonna stop here and get that 10. You do need to build up a little momentum before you do that wall jump, otherwise you'll just get the 5. But it's pretty easy. This level, Freeze and Rain, is another very quick one that yields a lot of coins. There's a chance we'll be seeing this later in the run, but again, we'll see. As you can see, we're doing a lot of long jumps here because we can do that in the 3D world style. Very easy. Funny enough, it actually is faster if you take the lower route the whole way, but because there are no coins down there, it's definitely not worth it. Plus, it's only, I want to say, 2 seconds faster, maybe? So, not a whole lot worth it. But, also, remember Buzzy? Yeah, we're going back. So, you know the drill by now. $201, nice, nice. Now right here, we do have enough coins now to build the next floor of the main hall, but before we're able to do that, Toad has a little mission for us. You know, after the celebration, of course. Yeah, but it turns out that another Toad got kidnapped. So it's up to Mario to save him. And luckily, we get to do it to Super Mario Galaxy music. Yeah, and low gravity on the new Super Mario Bros. U style. You can just keep spinning like that and hardly lose any of your height. You do need to time it well, though. Like right there, I kind of missed one, but still very nice to be able to do. We're gonna wait just a little bit before jumping, and then we're gonna make our way to that 30. Booyah. Bounce off that Goomba, and that will be the last jump of this level. And get the 10, nice and easy. That was a pretty solid level. Alright, once we get this celebration, I'll be able to start building the next floor of the main hall. Next up we have a 3D world level that deals with the Porcupuffer enemy. And these things are kind of a menace. If Mario does not have a star power-up, they will try to eat him. Actually, they'll still try to eat him even if he does have the star power-up, but unless he has the star power-up on, they will eat him no matter what kind of power-up Mario has. He can be Fire Flower, he can be small, doesn't matter. They will eat him, he will die, and it's a bad time for everyone involved. So right here I'm going to grab that Fire Flower, and it will be very important in this room, because I'm going to want to fireball both of these guys, and go through this to grab that star, collect all these coins, annihilate all those Porcupuffers, and head to the last room. Now here there is a 30 here guarded by another Porcupuffer. I will try my absolute best to kill it first, now that I have the luxury of the Fire Flower. So I'm gonna lure it over, and that should be enough. I'm gonna fire one more just to be safe. Yeah, you do not want that thing to eat you. There is a backup strat in case you don't kill it, or if you don't have the Fire Flower when coming in here for some reason. Fortunately, I didn't need to use it though. It is a little riskier too, but fortunately I did not need to use it. Took a little bit longer than I would have liked to actually kill that Porcupuffer, but that's still okay. This next level is another one that's really good for speedrunning because it has a couple of really neat skips. Fast Snake Block Frontier. First I'm going to grab this mushroom, and there's a skip you can do almost immediately here, where you jump off of these spikes to get to the next part of the stage. Now you do need to damage a beast to do it, of course, but because the last jump is so specific, it is extremely risky to go for, and you lose a lot of time if you miss it. Plus you need a mushroom for here anyway. But now I can just skip all that, grab the checkpoint, come through here, and you want to hit these three as quickly as possible. I'll say why in a moment, but I'll show you why in 1, 2, 3. Gonna jump up here, skip that part of the stage. I'm gonna grab this mushroom just for safety. Now, I have died here because I misjudged where the Wigglers were going to be before, and it cost me a lot of time, and I'd rather not repeat that. So, better safe than sorry. Then once those are ready to go, you can just go right in that tube. Get the 10. Pretty straightforward. And the next level is... it's something special. It has a reward of 300 coins for your first completion. It's called Parabeetle Transfer, and it is everybody's favorite, a pseudo-auto-scroller. So again, not a true auto-scroller because the screen doesn't keep going, but essentially what you're meant to do here is this pipe will emit a bunch of parabeetles, and you're meant to bounce between them in order to ride your way all the way to the end flagpole. I'm going to try to stay on this one, though, just because it's up front, and I like being up front. But actually, there is a reason for it. I also time my jumps to the music here. Ooh, I might be a little off. But I'm going to grab that 10. And I'm just going to scoot my way over to the end. Yeah, you do not have to ride those parabeetles all the way to the end. That's why I say it's a pseudo auto-scroller, because you can skip all of that. It just so happens that those Goombas are perfectly placed, so you can do that as well. So I'm almost inclined to guess that Nintendo figured that people were going to speedrun this game, and put in that as a little wink wink nudge nudge. But I don't know, who's to say? Boom Boom Rager. This is the last new level we'll see in the Super Mario Bros. 1 style. And it deals with Boom Booms, an enemy that was not in the original Super Mario Bros. Grab onto that vine. And you can also see that there are desert winds pushing us. That's another nighttime effect. So we're going to try to move our way around those wind cycles as we hop our way up to the top here. Wait for that dry bones to pass and get that 10. And this next level is a very cool looking one. It's in the Super Mario World style, it involves going fast, and it uses a lot of on-off switches, so we get a lot. Go in that pipe, and we find out that we're being chased by 2 bonsai bills. So the whole goal is to get through here, hitting the on-off switches to reveal the path as you go. I do spin jumps here, there's no real reason to, I just like doing it. And you'll see we actually don't need to hit that one there. And we don't need to hit this next one either. In fact, you don't want to hit it, because that way that shell comes out. And with that shell, we're able to jump off of this guy and get that 50 coin. And you know how we like coins in this run. Yeah, it looks like Mario should get hit by one of the bonsai bills there, but the hitboxes are generous enough that even though the sprites are overlapping, they're like, okay, no, we'll give you a pass. So it's really nice that that happens. Cool. So that's one of the last castle constructions this run. Total Eclipse. Now this one is the last Toad rescue mission of sorts, where you need to collect 5 toads this time instead of just 1. So you want to do a wall jump there to make sure you can come over here fast enough to make this cycle. Which I did, yay. And to exit, you need to wait for all of those bob-ombs to go off. Yeah, runs have died because people got a little hasty and jumped there before the bob-omb went off. And it is unfortunate when that happens, but you just kind of have to grin and bear it. So here, just a little bit of wait-in for these flames to finish their cycles. Wait for that guy, and then we can get going to the last toad. And we're going to take this mushroom for safety more than anything else. Also, it doesn't matter if I go right there, those flames will nick the last toad no matter what, unfortunately. No matter how fast you go. And we're able to come up there nice and quick. And we want to bop Magic Koopa here, or Kamek, I guess. Yeah, his name's Kamek. And that was pretty clean. Okay, so 1674. Now I need 326 more coins in order to afford the stained glass, which is the last thing we want to build. So here's the thing. I only need to get to 2,000 coins. I don't need to go anywhere beyond that. Oops. Okay, well that's unfortunate. That happens every once in a while. Not that specific throw, but every once in a while you'll get a bad throw that you wish didn't happen. But at the end of the run like this, you know, it's not the biggest deal, especially considering I know exactly how many coins I need. So depending on how many... Depending on how many coins you still need at the end here, that can affect what stages you do. For example, sometimes you might do level 72, sometimes you might do level 70, just because those give more coins or give coins at a faster rate. It all depends. Yeah, so here I only need 129 coins. So once I get that many in Buzzy, I'm just going to make a mad dash for the end, because I don't need to worry about getting any more at that point. So 129 is the magic number. Sweet, okay. So now I can just run to the end, no problems. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so now that I have over 2,000 coins, I'm going to go over to Toadette here and start building the final part of the castle. Stained glass. Now this stained glass takes 5 completed levels to build. And since I don't need any more coins, I'm just going to do the fastest level a few times. And that happens to be Head in the Clouds. And this is why this particular level is as infamous as it is. So you don't need to worry about the coins anymore, you just need to get to the finish. I'm just going to repeat this a few times. There's been theorized other stages to do besides this one that are faster, and the only one that really holds a candle to Head in the Clouds is Drybone's Lava Lurker, which is the one where you have to kill 6 Drybones. But that one is A, a lot more risky, B, not even necessarily faster, unless you do the really, really top level strat. And even then, it's only barely, if at all. Okay, so doing this twice more. And yes, I did say twice more, so even though we do need five levels completed in order to finish the castle, or the stained glass, rather, we only do 4 head in the clouds, and that's for reasons we'll get to very briefly. Okay, cool. And with that, we head into the final level of the run, which is Meowser Showdown. And the reason we're going in there is that Toadette got kidnapped by Meowser. So we need to go in there and save her. Now, there are a few strats you can do in this first room. I go with the safe one because it's only 2 seconds faster than, like, the actual fast strat. And, you know, when you get to this point in the run, nerves are high and you don't really want to risk it on the dangerous strat anyway. So here I'm also going to try jumping over Meowser, if he'll let me. Which he does. Nice, nice. If you don't, it's no big deal. You can just damage abuse through him since you're Big Mario at this stage. And here's the most fun room in the game, where literally all you do is time your jumps. So, this is the calm before the storm. Actually, I lied. There is one other thing you do in this room besides just time your jumps. And it's pretty ridiculous. Are you ready? Alright, check this out. You turn around. Pretty insane, right? And here we get like a nice little, not skip, but like a little strat that speeds up just a little bit. We can jump right over Boom Boom there. And this is a very big RNG room, so let's hope Meowser cooperates. And he does not. Okay. Okay, so we want to hit that block. Make our way up here. And hopefully... Okay, I'm just gonna go through here for safety. And grab this cat suit. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's less fine, actually. Okay, so Meowser's gonna go over there. Hello. Gonna throw more POW blocks at him. Hopefully he'll cooperate. He does. Excellent. And time is right there where Mario grabs the flagpole. That's a 1:44.24. That might be a 23, actually, I don't know. But that's really good. That's about half a minute off of world record, and that is a new PB for me. So I'm really happy about that, actually. I think this is the second time I submitted to Games Done Quick and got a PB in my submission, so that's really nice. I'm happy about that. And as you can see here, the stained glass is finished, and with that finishing touch, the castle is 100% completed. So, with all of that said, I would very much like to thank Games Done Quick for the opportunity to submit. I would like to thank whoever is watching this to screen it for sitting through this whole thing. I really appreciate that. I look forward to seeing your decision on this game's inclusion in the marathon. And yeah, just thanks for your consideration. I really appreciate it. And as we close out this joyous occasion, Peach is happy, Toadette's happy, Mario's happy, everyone's happy. Especially that Toad in the lower right who's just dozing off. And more importantly, Undo Dog, who started this whole thing, and for all we know, might start it again right here. With all that said, thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day. Take it easy.